Hi everyone, welcome. It's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Boy, those energies are pretty tough out there today. So I thought I'd come in. I have a really quick read from last night and then the read in front of you from today. It was a little bit choppy today, but I'm going to give it my best here. Do a little clearing. I have some sage going as well. It's March 17th, 2020 today. The 17 is all about the star energy of hopes and dreams, of healing, shining your light as you should be in all that you are. There's some really cool coding that came through last night. I watched a weird movie last night, Last Fairy. I wasn't crazy about it, but there's some of the energies from that about just anger, retaliation, vengeance, that kind of energy coming up from it. Let's see, with the sun, the star today, and then it's 24, the day adds up to 24, which is the Queen of Wands. So it has to do with that very creative and dynamic energy, very physical, being very magnetic. It has to do with energy. So shining your light, you know, being the actress, you know, to perform, to play. So this read last night, it was very cool. I was watching the series from Morgan Freeman on God, where he goes around the world, you know, researching all of the origins of God and all that kind of thing, which is a really fun series to watch. But as I'm watching it, just like when I do my cards sometimes and I'm watching a movie, the movie will start playing out in the cards that I'm doing. Well, the same thing was happening as I did this read. So as he's talking about Eden started coming up in my read, and I'll get to that in a minute, but it was very cool how it played out. So let's see here. At 10:57 last night is when I completed this read for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. Remember, these are general reads for a lot of people, so if it doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. And certainly if you want a personal read, all my information is below and on my website at twinflames3344.com. And you can certainly drop me a line if you're not seeing what you need at gmail.com, the same address. So, and also just a reminder to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps to expand the message if you share my videos with others, especially if it's something you resonate with. All right, we have the read done at 10:57 last night. We have the major arcana of Starseed, the Great Wheel or the Wheel of Fortune, Reason, which is the Emperor, and Reflection, which is the Hermit. Before the read last night was the Transition and Ascension cards. And the SIRIAN Starseed deck had been cut and dealt at 10:34 to 35, which is the 8 and 9 of Wands. That 8 of Wands of fast-paced communications or energy back and forth, and then the 35 of the 10 of Wands, where you're carrying the weight of the world upon your shoulders and it needs to be dropped, right? The end of the cycle. So, and then 57 is the final time, which is that 3 of Swords energy of three-way situations, three-way heartbreak, or just heartbreak in general, separation, and all of pain anyway is separation from self. So that is the message in that. And we have the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel definitely, in the read I did today, the one in front of you, the Wheel of Fortune is upright and a really positive message. We had the Lovers and the 2 of Cups in the read in front of you. Both the 2 of Cups and the Lovers were in the main cards here and here. And within the mini deck, they were both upright as well. And then we have the Ace of Cups upright in the underlying energies. All right, so this first read done at 10:57 last night for today, as I told you, the major arcana, we also had 4 swords. So it was a lot of swords in the read last night. 2 pentacles and 1 cup. There were no wands in this read at 11 o'clock last night, which makes sense. Very swordy though, the masculine in their head. We had the Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. The King of Wands also came up after the read. I made double 1s and double 7s in the read last night. Some of the other numbers that came up were 17, which is the Star, 12, the Hangman, 25, the Knight of Wands, and 57 again, which was the time I finished this read, 57, the 3 of Swords. The code line was all about rebirth. And so as I'm watching the series with Morgan Freeman, who was explaining that he's from Mississippi, and then Mississippi came up in the headers, and then what else was coming up? Oh, and then when I was looking up one of the places he was talking about, a bunch of headers on raspberries came up, and that was the one fruit that I couldn't get at the supermarket yesterday. So that was weird that raspberries came up. And then something else came up. I'll get to that in a minute because that was very cool. All right. So again, raspberries, Mississippi, and that was a confirmation that what I got was confirmed. And I wanted to tell you too, because when I was watching him explain this thing about Eden having to do with Jerusalem, I was getting major connections. So that was reconfirmation when the phone just dinged just now. So being that this code line was all about rebirth, it was not only about rebirth, the divine masculine, and bringing in Jesus, because there's the Jesus and Mary Magdalene template for the masculine and the feminine, but Adam and Eve were coming in here, especially Adam. The code line, like I said, first online raspberry came up, but it came up with raspberry Pi, so Pi, and then SD cards on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Okay, so all of the application systems. And also Real ID Mississippi, driver's license. You need one to fly. Right, so then the licenses came up about the star, you need the Real ID now starting October 1st, so don't forget about that. So if your state doesn't automatically do the real licenses for your state on your driver's license, then you're going to need to actively get this renewal if you want to travel anywhere. And that's by October 1st. You can go through your driver's license location to get this done. And I just got my renewal of my driver's license, but in Pennsylvania they don't automatically do it, so I don't have the star on my license, so I'm gonna have to go back and do it again. Just a reminder for you guys. You still can use your passport at any time as long as it's not expired. All right, so in watching this Morgan Freeman series last night, it was very interesting because when I went online, a header came up for him regarding his granddaughter, which, there was some rumors about him and his granddaughter, of course, with the media and the advertiser and all that kind of stuff. But her name was Edina, which is literally Eden, A. So as we're talking about Eden, his granddaughter, wasn't his biological granddaughter, but he raised her. Her name was Edina, which is Eden, his step-granddaughter. And then we'll get into more of what he was going over as I was doing this read. So I was watching this as I wrote the first things out, and then some of the stuff was coming up. So he was at Jerusalem at Gobekli Tepe, which was the last place I remember watching, which is over 11,000 years old, considering whether that could be the Garden of Eden. And they're trying to tie that site to whether or not they, prayed to God, if they believed in gods. So the major thing here was where I was having a big connection was when he was in Jerusalem at the Christ Temple in Jerusalem, where Jesus was hung. So the person who was guiding him there was talking about how where Jesus was hung, supposedly Adam was buried beneath exactly where he was hung on the cross. And that as he bled to death, his blood dropped through the stones onto Adam buried beneath the rock, and then that's when Adam would come back to life. And I was getting major connection when they were explaining that. He also went through the Mayan starts and the hero twins and the first corn planted and Orion with the 3 stars that they mimic the pyramids after, the 3 temples of the Mayans. And then so the code line here for this read last night was the after death key. And we're talking about the death of Jesus and the death of Adam and Eve and all that kind of stuff, and the energetic exchange in clearing the great wheel of Eden and the rebirth. So RAI was coming up, which means several things, but one of the things it means is Eden or paradise. And this was totally separate from what I was watching. So part of the coding was RAI, which literally translates to Eden. It also means stone money, ray, raft, no importance, no worry, no problem. Sight, to see, ray, beam, spoke, radius, life, spirit, mind, hope, salvation, prosperity, willingness, and interest, as well as look, eye, muscle, as in the clam and mussels, muscle, and then Rai, R-Y-E, and then Eden and paradise in Romanian, and also means king, ride, opinion, and view. And it's interesting that Eden was coming up in the Romanian translation because I just brought up Romanian about the Trojan Wall not being the Trojan Wall, but the Trajan Wall in Romania. So it's bringing us back to that again. And also you notice that Eden is E and then Den, and I'm always talking about the towers and the caves, the E Tower and the Bat Cave that the masculine is in, and now we have Eden as the Eden, right? The Mary Magdalene Cave, it comes up in my cards for the SIRIAN Starseed deck, as well as the Bat Cave. And also Eden adds up to 19, which is the sun, the central sun. So as I'm going through the coding here, and we're talking about Adam, which also means man. So they were also explaining Adam means man, and then if you take away the A, the D-A-M means blood, and then if you add A-H, it means land. So man, blood, and land, that name Adam connects to everything about the first man. So Adam or man, after death, seeing clearly, the wise one, the queen, the great wheel of Eden and the rebirth. So literally the codes were AD for after death, and then a key symbol, like an Allen wrench, but it's like an upside down backward L. For me, that's a key. So it was AD, and then this key, and then AD again, which literally, as I'm watching this stuff about Jesus's blood dripping down to Adam, the AD key, AD, literally is a picture code of after death of Jesus, and the key being like the hangman, where his blood drops down into the stone, down to the other after death, Adam. So it was literally AD key, AD, or after death of the hangman, and the blood dripping down to the after death of Adam below. So it was very cool that it came out that way. So Jesus' death dripping blood through the stone onto Adam, causing his rebirth. Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the site of Jesus' crucifixion, the Calvary of Golgotha, and his empty tomb of burial and resurrection. So all the stuff at that site. And its original Greek name was the Church of Anastasis, or that means resurrection. And again, regarding Adam's skull that was found under the cross at the crucifixion. So also after death, regarding Adam, and Tad, and then Tad is coming up like the frog prince. Tad is the tadpole. So Tad sees age, and we're talking about sees, like with eyes, but also sees as in emotions in the ocean. And the water wheel. So I was getting literally the great wheel, the wheel of fortune, as the water wheel of a raft, like you know, they used to have the water wheels to process not only water, clean water to give to people, but also for energy. And when I was in Atlanta, when I went out with the shaman with my kids, literally where we went out into the creek in the pouring rain, where we sat on the rock, we had to walk past a watershed like that where they had that water wheel. So the Wheel of Fortune was coming up as this water wheel, like propelling the raft with the king and Eden, with no worries in the spiritual life, the ray, the starseed. All right, so we start. It's just the energy of the after-death propulsion forward into from Eden into salvation and prosperity, where we would have no worries, only hope and spirit and life and the rays, as the frog becomes the prince. So we started this read last night with a starseed reverse, which is like the Fool. Falling after the loyal, humble servant resists transformation, choosing a new path of no ascension. Starting over in love, jealous, healing, or healer, coming clean and being happy with self. And that was at 12:12, which is the Hangman times 2, which is Jesus and Adam. Okay, so the single King of Cups, jealous of surrender to spirituality and or divorce, but suffering in silence. The surrender of the Taurus reversed, or marriage, or the marital divorce, and being alternative and suffering in silence. That everything is just falling apart. The cross keys, the wall and the gate. No more Peter Pan and peace and love, dude. The King of Cups and kids and the wounded warrior. Taurus reversed, suffering in silence in the fall. Just like everything collapsing all at once. Kind of like the water wheel. When the water comes over the wheel, everything just collapses down. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, aroused by spying or stalking or negative self-talk, rumors and or lying, letting go of all emotional attachments that don't serve their highest good. Little Red Boots meets tap dancing Fred Flintstone, trying to distract them from seeing what's really going on behind them. All right, so like that can be an adult and child energy. You deserve love comes up for the masculine, but beneath that was passion, and then recovery without an olive branch, right? Doing it for yourself, holding back a new life, no longer being silenced by the Hierophant reversed or those in leadership positions, not working or no longer working between them. Two butts and taking temperatures on either end, not agreeing on how to take care of children. This could be in a partnership. Narcissistic Taurus energies or the old man with muscles, divorced or a break in contract or coming out alternative, or an abusive father or uncle. And the story about that coming out. Individuality comes up, which is number 11, and then relationship change underneath that was number 56. 11 is justice, 56 is the Two of Swords, being in your knowing, but keeping it to yourself. The Hierophant reversed, which again can be a divorce, a breaking contract, spirituality, just thinking outside the box, or a Taurus reversed, release without affection, or in a breakup here. The Seven of Cups is letting go of emotional attachments, juggling the rainbow in a downturn, slow down, or twist of fate, and or a release from prison, whether that's literally prison or just your own anxieties and fears. No options but separation and heartbreak in order to find peace. Retracing steps to see where things went wrong. Boating at night, perhaps, or the frog spying to see where she went, sneaking away, stabbing him in the heart, and it's the last straw. It was at the full moon. This is all underlying energy. The Libra sneaking away or watching her do it. Peace in the fall, suffering in silence, stressed out, or just up at nights. Dumping attachments, and you deserve love when things aren't working out. Being authentic to self. Recently for the masculines, the Page of Swords reverse, which actually is the Page of Swords reverse is the recent past in this read as well. Page of Swords reverse with negative self-talk. The King of Swords with their world upside down in connection, receiving inspiration from the full moon, and perhaps playing ball. Starting over in love with the Ten of Pentacles upright, whether that's family or business or a legacy or a dream of what your family would be. The Queen of Cups is not sharing with that Ten of Cups. And the foundation is the Knight of Swords upright, the messenger of truth, and the Knight of Wands passionately moving post-war to hanging out. The central energy is the Queen of Pentacles reverse, which can be that earth energy, whether it's Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, but also can just be someone who's very grounded, but they're reversed. So they're ungrounded, or they're all about money, or they're just having a bad day. The King of Wands drained and walking away from the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, and the challenge being the slowdown, the downturn, this twist of fate that we're all in. The Tower reversed in the aftermath of the Knight of Pentacles, offering help, grieving conflict of injustice. The workplace is not working, and the Hermit reversed is coming out about the High Priestess or secret or their psychic abilities. Perhaps not sharing, dealing with a scam or an inequity of a relationship. It's coming up for the masculine is no fantasy, and surprised with a Chariot in the bold move, forging ahead, and the feminine Bull being nosy, and the messenger of truth rushing in there with the Emperor reversed, out of control, with the Queen of Cups, who can be a water sign, so can be Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but she can also just be a very loving, gentle, intuitive type person. But the Queen of Cups angel with the Six of Cups reversed, which can be a negative past or a negative childhood. It can be children who are being difficult or literally the past returning. But this is going on at work, with him falling into the never-ending story at 121, which is 1 is the Magician, 21 is the World. So now, in the current moment, this was last night after 12 midnight, the Emperor reversed, student of the Devil or Capricorn, no longer fighting and walking away, letting go in order to find peace. Confessing the Queen of Cups in a bold move to be patient and take one step at a time. All at night, perhaps, going through a split, lies, or just cutting through the crap. Suffering in silence, stressed out, purging, crying, just not sleeping or having headaches, and surrendering to the King of Pentacles and Queen of Wands, quote-unquote happy family. And this can definitely be the sham fam as well, the one that looks perfect on the outside but is actually having a lot of issues on the inside. Coming clean and closing the gap, inspired by a big love at work, and coming together in order to be moderate. Grieving angel in the aftermath of the 5D stardom, healing an energetic exchange between them, expressing feelings. Soon for the masculine is the Hermit reversed, grieving and keeping to themselves, reaping rewards, moving forward and offering help. The messenger of truth or Knight of Swords, recovering from the Emperor reversed, out of control, perhaps abusing their power at present, walking away from their Scrooge or Scrooge mentality. He sees himself as the Ace of Cups upright here, with new love, new self-love, spiritual love, but weak from the bliss of the Queen of Swords speaking her truth, the Sovereign and the Magician. And then the masculine was getting, let your friends help, true love, that this is a romance of a lifetime, deception, somebody's wearing a mask, and then forgiving and learning. Around the masculine are how he's seen as the Queen of Swords upright, offering love on a quest to choose a path of standing up for themselves and moving to peace and rising above, awake and coming out. The masculine needs to clear blocks of the Ace of Swords reversed regarding lies, split, and cutting through the BS, leading the way through the fall, like not trying to escape it, allowing it all. Rebirth comes up here, and then harsh lies with the angel with attitude, and the Five of Pentacles reversed, so recovering from the expression of feeling or energetic exchange between them at work, and the falling or feeling embarrassed in front of perhaps the Divine Feminine or other people, refusing to change. Right? Somebody fell because they refused to follow their guidance. So energetic exchange with a message of love and not judging the injustice that's happening. The E-Tower, which is the Divine Feminine's heart and coming out, and the Empress reversed in a twist at home in the never-ending story. The King of Wands is upright, coming clean with downloads to the Queen of Wands and kids reversed, and perhaps the King of Cups, which can be unconditional love, or perhaps it's the Queen of Wands' father. Queen of Wands can be a fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, or just someone who's really fiery and probably has fire in their chart, but may not be a fire sign, sun sign. But it's coming up as the King of Wands coming clean about their downloads to the Queen of Wands and the kids reversed, who may be unhappy, and the King of Cups, who may be a father in this situation, or just that unconditional love. But falling on face from grace or lacking faith, the Knight of Swords, new love, the Queen of Swords with negative self-talk, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, challenged by that twist of fate, and the Hermit coming out in a split, lies, and the need for clarity here and cutting through the crap, and the Emperor reversed, out of control or just an ego death. In recovering, getting clean, the King of Wands shaman is reaping the rewards of that. And the Queen of Wands are with kids and father. It looks like that to me anyway. And that was at 146, which is the Magician and the Six of Cups. All right, so that was the read last night. So today, the one in front of you, and again, today is the Queen of Wands and the Star for the 17th, and the day adding up to the 24, which is a 6 of love, family, and community. 17 is an 8, and 8 has to do with inner and outer strength, but also the higher level manifestation. So manifesting your dreams. All right. So the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt today, the read in front of you, at 12:07, which is the Hangman and the Chariot. Chariot is an ascension vehicle. And then it was finished at 12:30, which is again the Hangman and the 30 of the Four of Wands, which is the union or the home. The major arcana for this read were the Tower, which was actually reversed in this read, Abundance, which is the Empress, Lovers, Reason, which is the Emperor. So we have the Emperor and the Empress in the main cards for this deal. And then the Great Wheel again came up, the Wheel of Fortune. Before the read, Karma came up, which is like Judgment. And after the read, Shadow, which is the Devil. And then Justice came up. So the code line was all about patience, and the number 10, which is that Wheel of Fortune, the turn for the better, and that very high vibration. And we also had 1 Pentacle, 2 Swords, 2 Wands, and 1 Cup, so the elements were evenly distributed there. And then we had the Page of Swords and the King of Swords were the only court cards within the read, the Page of Swords and the King of Swords, but the Queen of Cups was also there before the read and the underlying energies. The numbers, we only had double 10s here, which is that very high vibration, plus 10 was on the code line, so even more significant. And there weren't a whole lot in the numbers other than that. We did have 25, which is the Knight of Wands, 58, which is the Four of Swords, 810, which is 81 with a lot of source energy backing it up, 81 in the numerology deck, the Divine Triangle, is the end of karma, that age 81. Then we also had 12 of the Hangman, 24 of the Queen of Wands, which the energy is today, 45 of the Five of Cups, and that would be it for the numbers today. But mostly about the number 10, and the code line was all about patience. So the message here was coming up about the Divine Masculine with his emotions all over in all different directions at once, which was coming up yesterday, speaking to the nth degree, but in that high vibe, destiny, with the Tower, E, which is the E Tower, the feminine, Divine Feminine's heart, dealing with the drama and the epiphanies that are coming through because their hearts are connected, the masculine and the feminine, and the masculine needing to be patient. So then the acronym SA came up, right? FO is that the fool or the madman or the one with the water or emotions all over the place in all different directions, because the definition for FO comes up as everyone, like the man and the woman, or the this and the that. And the SA acronym came up very much the same way. So SA, I usually just bring up the acronyms, but today I looked up the definitions from all of the different cultures. And SA is woman, one, how much, rain, to eat, healthy, water, fire, you, thou, his, her, its, one, generation, litter, sowing season, 100, this, these, that, those, until, as far as, to drink, to come, so, as, of, to know, the, to take, a saw, to dawn, a dog, gauze, to fall, hit, sand, sandy, hot, dense, thick, and meat. So the Divine Masculine madman to the Divine Feminine, on how much to eat, to drink, to know, to take, to dawn, to fall, to hit, to be healthy with the rainwater and the fire, the generation all one, filtering and sowing seeds, or season, seas on, emotions on, sowing the emotions of the sandy hot dog and the dense thick meat, the madman and the filtered woman to the nth degree, destined drama of being patient with the divine feminine energy. So again, with the masculine's emotions in all directions, speaking his truth to the nth degree, in dealing with the high vibe destiny of the divine feminine's heart in the E-Tower, and dealing with the drama and the epiphanies that come from the feminine, but not only through our reality, but through our direct connection, and having patience with his own feminine side. The Eight of Pentacles is the first card here in the underlying energy. So we have the Eight of Pentacles here. Then we have, again, this was the same position as the last one. This is the Four of Pentacles, which is the divine masculine's heart in the Batcave. And then we have Karma, and then Ace of Swords, and then the Queen of Cups there, which is the Sage of Chalices in this deck, the SIRIAN Starseed deck. Again, this is a 7-deck read. There's 7 decks out there. So here, the masculine working after the divine masculine's heart in the Batcave, letting go of deliberations of splits, lies, and cutting through the BS in order to get clarity in the situation regarding or with the Queen of Cups energy. The Queen of Swords speaking to sovereign, or speaking to sovereignty at night and at the full moons in order to rise above, or to help others rise above. The Knight of Swords is rushing in with the truth and standing up for themselves. And it seems like the Knight of Swords was rushing back, but the Queen of Swords was speaking forward, like they're covering both ends at the same time, the masculine and the feminine, covering both ends. The masculine leaning out the window or balcony or standing up for himself as he's looking out at the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles, and they're both looking in the same direction he's looking at, like spying in on what's going on with the Ace of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands reversed, and then the world upright. Like what's going on around the world with all this craziness and the frustration and this dumping out of love and purging, lots of tears, people frustrated. And again, the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles all looking at loss of love, pushed to their emotional limits, and the Page of Wands frustrated in the frustrated world, but the world's upright because the cycle is done, or it's also dealing with the sealed divine feminine, all looking towards this world energy or the sealed divine feminine to see what's up next. And it was interesting, right as I was finishing writing this, the FedEx truck showed up at 2:22. Of course, it was when I picked up the delivery. And so at 2:26, we turn the page. It's the High Priestess and, again, the Page of Wands, who's reversed in this read, frustrated, and so is the Page of Swords. So these can be children as well as messages. But either way, they're on the negative end. They're either frustrated and acting up, or just uninspired, right, with nothing to do. And you know what it's like to be home with kids who don't want to be home, right? So watching the King of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, the masculine watching the King of Wands and the Page of Pentacles watching the Page of Wands reversed, perhaps crying, so they could be dealing with children here, crying and frustrated with the world, or with closure, or with the cycle completion, or perhaps with the neighborhood sealed off, and the world, or the sealed divine feminine still working. No space boots were coming up here. Somebody might have thrown their space boots out. Drakes or draconians and reptilians were coming up here as uninspired and crying, worried about being sick. And Michael and Thoth covering the sealed divine feminines, but the bull and lion still trying to get in, right? So those negative energies. Purging tears and fluids so the divine masculine can make things better with Holy Communion. It's like as the feminine energy gets pushed to her emotional limits, then the masculine can come in and scoop her up And again, be like the savior that he usually is and make things better with Holy Communion into the Holy Grail. Streaming 1111 from the comfort of home, the Divine Masculine is working to align to implement a plan for when they're out in the cold or when others are out in the cold and can't see them, and so the Emperor can remain in control. Still working or seeing patients or being patient, the injured and the ill, implementing a way forward to remain in control, helping out but loving self first. So for the masculine, true love came up, and beneath that, and that's that romance of a lifetime, and beneath that was playfulness. And the underlying energy here, the high priestess or dark priestess who may have a book open, and the hermit reversed coming out to light the flame, like after the hermit missing the flame is now reversed, coming out to light the flame, to ignite it. The Page of Cups with a message of love is frustrated, unable to find the right words or a way to express their love, expressing feelings and energetic exchange in a strong bond, soulmate, or connection, and making, it's like he's having images of all these different ways of being with their soulmate, making love under a tree, or with chocolates and dessert, or by candle with an ink pen to write their music or their book. Fruit and lovebirds by the moonlight, always in each other's arms, wanting to say that he was always there. Leadership comes up with, again, that number 81 of the end of karma. And then spiritual career, number 78, which is that dream family or dream legacy of the 10 of Pentacles. The 7 of Cups is reversed, letting go of the emotional attachments of the Knight of Wands, passionately moving forward in that split or divide or lies are cutting through in order to get the clarity in the situation. With the Page of Swords, who looks like they're up to something, and here the Page of Swords was upright, but he looked like he was a little imp. And that can be a girl, it doesn't have to be a boy. Or it could just be a message. But the Page of Swords, who looks like they're up to something, they got that little twinkle in their eye, and the Knight of Wands and the Page of Swords divided, or what to let go of, or how to split things up between them. So this could be two kids in the underlying energy. The Knight of Wands and then the Page of Swords may not agree on how to split things up. Perhaps the Page of Swords wants to divide things up equally, and the King or the Knight of Wands wants to let all of it go and just dump it all. Overworking or not working at all, praying that the dark birds will go away, to manifest the Holy Grail, the big love, and with their eye on the prize. Perhaps the office and the yard are both a mess, or it looks like it's been raided, like with things all over the place, trying to just focus on love, to remain calm at work, be patient and calm. Searchlights are out at sea, almost aligned with the Holy Grail or the cup. The elephant's big snout is breathing it all in with deep breaths and holding it, right? Holding in all those emotions, because that's what the elephant does with their trunk. They hold in a lot of water. Big love at work around the world. Completion of a cycle and the sealed divine feminine and the Emperor, soulmates, both soulmates and leaders. In the recent past is that Page of Swords reversed again, which can be a child who's moody or mouthing off, or it can just be negative self-talk or messages or lack of messages thereof. So it could be negative talk and spying and, mean words and messages, things like that. Rumors spread. But destined to get over the grief or loss, regret, guilt, or shame after a conflict, a fight, or a game. With the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated that they lost, or neither the Page of Swords reversed or the Page of Wands reversed is getting their way, so they're both unhappy. So these could be kids, again, stuck at home. 301 is the Empress and the Magician. There could be negative groups or influences coming up here around children or messages, or people are afraid to come together with a negative past, or kids having a hard time, or third party, and that past returns to connect when no one else will. The Knight of Swords rushes in with the truth to journeyman, or friend rushing in to tell you their truth, which may not be the same as yours, even if they mean well. The foundation is the Two of Cups, seeing eye to eye, hug to hug. The 10 of Cups and the Knight of Wands reversed could be a happy family, or is it? or is it an emotional cycle of completion, falling short or holding back desires or movement? There may be boredom or apathy or ignoring a love opportunity. Home taking forever to let the cycle end or complete the transformation with Leo or ego or being strong, taming the inner beast. Home and family clinging, refusing to follow through or do anything physical, or losing steam due to boredom and being pacified by someone else. Having to be strong for everyone so that these other people can be weak. And that could be the masculine complaining, why am I always the one who's doing everything and everybody else is just, sitting around being lazy. So the central energy here is the Ten of Wands reversed, dropping all the burdens, perhaps confessing, the Hermit going crazy, like over isolating and going nuts. Perhaps people were stuck with the kids in the house or going nuts because of that. Or it can be elders with Alzheimer's and just feeling crazy because you're going through the twin flame journey. Or coming out of isolation to the High Priestess, the masculine coming out to the High Priestess, or about their secret or their psychic abilities. Or a Virgo reversed and a Pisces upright not getting along, or that they are two sides of the same coin, and coming out to a family that includes the King of Swords, the King of Cups reversed, and the Hierophant, which can be a Taurus, or a leader, or a religious leader, or the establishment in a family, business, or legacy, and the challenge being the Tower reversed, where the Fool is free to leap now to the Emperor, strong and knowing and keeping to themselves about the Ten of Pentacles, wealth and abundance, or just their dream of what they want their family to be, that family, business, or legacy. Aries, another Aries, Leo, Taurus, Pisces, Virgo, and Cancer all are the energies here. Coming out to the High Priestess or about their secret or abilities, the masculine, and the King of Swords emotionally detached from Taurus or his marriage, who knows and is keeping everything to themselves or pretending like it's not there. Avoiding disaster or in the aftermath of sudden events, drama, or epiphanies. Energetic exchange or expression of feelings with the Page of Cups. A message of love or a child, and the Fool, free with an open heart, free to leap with that open heart as long as they stay present in the moment. So this is like someone finding the trick to it. As long as I stay present, then I can always be free. The Chariot is broken, or there's a block in a state of emergency. Everything closed and limited traveling. The Seven of Wands is protecting themselves, the injustice of deliberations and holding back announcements at the present time. The King of Wands showing affection and that they are free to roam. No patience or losing patience and loss of hope or depression, or no healing and connecting at the workplace, just one-on-one, but without an announcement or guidance on whether they should come together or not, depending on your business or type of business, not making calls or announcements to customers or clients, or holding back announcements, judgments, or calls to negative associates or third parties involved at 333. Now for the masculine is the Five of Wands reversed, ending conflicts, battles, competition, and dropping their burdens and confessing about a soulmate at work, or perhaps to their soulmate at work, at 335, which is the Empress and the Wounded Warrior. In the aftermath of being dumped or dumping someone else, or just crying, purging, or just no love in their life, pushed to their emotional limits, holding back time, money, and energy, or a new life, inspired with a new passion that's ignited, blast off, starting the war within with the Wounded Warrior, weak due to a big love. Inspired to stand in their truth no matter what anyone else says or does, the King of Wands in need of sunshine. He may be drained, tired, or just sick and tired, overexposed, but he's upright here, ending the battle, each to work on their own inner war, right? So it's not to solve other people's problems, but for us to solve our own inner war, to clear our wounds. Or this is Leo, or the King of Wands' own ego, some of the same old conflicts and stress, unfair, never getting any sunshine, or walking away and within in the awakening, offered third energy and a new passion from an insecure Queen of Pentacles, or a manipulative Queen of Pentacles, or someone just without tools. Maybe they need tools to get this started. Or the Magician reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright together offered a new project or a sexual advance which surprised or awakened him to go within. Overexposed, drained, no fantasy, no longer keeping quiet about withholding, the King of Wands is freeing himself for fallen angel depressed in connection during work deliberations with a negative group or negative influences, no longer staying quiet about holding back a new life or time, money, and energy, dissatisfied and not getting their wish. The Page of Pentacles student or child, or perhaps it's an opportunity or invitation to learn, presented to the Five of Swords guy, right, who's defensive, unhappy and doesn't trust or have faith, laughing in the face of opportunity to learn or to be the student and start again, which, right, someone who's at the top of their field laughs in the face of that. I'm not going to be a child again. Destined to deal with ending pain, betrayal, or lower back pain and associated treatments with that. Destined to fall into painful ending in order to find peace. So some could be seeing that they had to go through this pain in order to see the peace and find it. Soon is the Abundance or the Empress upright, healing and coming clean or getting clean with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, or dream family, that's dealing with an imbalance or perhaps some kind of debt or inequity. Healing, forgiving, imprisoned lovers, and the Emperor imprisoned by lots of messages of love. The Empress coming clean to the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, not sharing rumors, negative self-talk, spying, immature words, or messages, or just no news that came in. Just synchronicities and options, and perhaps heaven in their eyes, and the injustice of walking away and within, letting go of their Scroogey ways, or hoarding at work, after suffering in silence in order to be free to leap to the Emperor and be strong, or keeping Leo or ego quiet about the Ten of Pentacles, wealth or abundance, or with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy. The Divine Masculine sees himself as the lovers. The Devil or Capricorn in a split, lies, or cutting through the crap, or swearing in, perhaps suffering in silence, stressed out, purging, up at night, perhaps headaches, no sleep, impatient fallen angel, knowing but keeping it to themselves, as not to get tainted by the dark energies around him at work. Work issues, not getting along or losing money, perhaps layoffs, firings, or quits, and or retirings at 357, which is the Empress and the Three of Swords. The Divine Masculine lovers at 358, which is the Empress and the Four of Swords, connecting in the 5D in meditation. The Divine Masculine lovers with third party through work, and this is like someone holding their hand up and saying, swear. Like this is the masculine saying, I swear this is true. The Divine Masculine lovers with third party through work, swear. Or ball and chain swears in a split divide, lies, and gaining clarity in the situation or in court. Or devil lover is connected, unable to pull the sword from the stone. Like this is the masculine saying, I can't undo it. It's a permanent connection. Stressed and up at nights, no patience, and Sagittarius, fallen angel, and third party through work, both keeping to themselves but always connected. Getting to know each other came up, safe to love, and flirt for the masculine. Around him or how he is seen is the King of Swords upright, dropping their burdens, confessing to the Queen of Cups under the radar. The sealed Divine Feminine completes his world, and the Knight of Cups is offering love to make up for the depression of the Queen of Cups without attention except under the radar, and the world lets go as the Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups help others with depression, loss of hope, and feeling like failures, no success, or no attention. The Knight of Cups being love, and the Queen of Cups placing their focus on the heart. Clearing blocks, masculine, you need to clear blocks of the Emperor needing to be in control. The Knight of Pentacles not working around the Empress, letting them drain her finances. So this could be the masculine judging the circumstances of his twin, or perhaps his partner in his life and the kids, where the Empress is allowing like children to be doing nothing around her, like not helping out. And you know how men can get about that stuff. So not working around the Empress, letting them drain her finances, or spending a little to fix up around the house. So it has to do with the masculine's control issues here. Like, is it really his place to control what other people do? So the injustice of an inability to work or refusal to work, or the divine masculine feeling like the Empress and or kids should be contributing more. The rainbow bridge is lined with negative talk and injustices. Patience comes up for the masculine, that he needs to have patience, which came up in the code line as well. But even more so here is adventure and perseverance in that. The King of Pentacles superhero with fantasy family, business, or legacy, and destined to end pain in partnership at work, deliberations with third party as part of that dream. Like he's deliberating, can this actually work? Destined to surrender to unhappiness and lack of satisfaction without options, or inability to implement his dreams without her. The devil and or Capricorn tripped up and got dragged into using his high vibrational energy for painful endings, or ends with pain and betrayal, but had to go through it in order to find peace in the end, with his shadow side. The injustice of the Ten of Cups, which can be the sham fam as well, that only in the Ten of Cups family does the top dog get to shine. The Queen of Wands in deliberations with the King of Pentacles, or holding back final judgment or announcement from the King of Pentacles. The divine masculine's heart in the Batcave, holding back a split from the Queen of Cups, like not letting her know that he's going through a split, working to align with the Two of Cups and Lovers. And like I said, the Two of Cups and Lovers rarely come up in a read together, and they're right next to each other in this bottom line here. The foundation is the Two of Cups. The masculine sees himself as the Lovers. And this is between the Queen of Cups working and the King of Swords, okay? So working to align with the Two of Cups, Lovers, the King of Swords with negative self-talk, confessing, but challenged by the aftermath of sudden events, drama, or epiphanies, and the Empress's abundance with the Emperor ending a battle with the destiny of his shadow and injustice, Capricorn and Libra reversed, or emotional fulfillment, and working with no messages or negative self-talk, spying on big love, and soulmate's confession and dropping a big load in order to end a battle or competition, and challenged by the aftermath of drama and epiphanies. And this was at 423, which is the Emperor, and then the King of Swords, or excuse me, the King of Wands. So the Lovers, and then the Empress, which is also abundance in this deck. The Lovers, Empress, destined, and the King of Swords, Emperor, also destined. The Scorpio, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Libra, and Capricorn were the main energies of this read from the main cards. Okay, so the main signs that are here in the masculine's physical environment. Injustice of the Libra, Capricorn, King of Pentacles, with the Ten of Cups, perhaps sham fam, and the Queen of Wands. And she could be holding back like the final judgment in a divorce on purpose, like delaying things in deliberations. The Queen of Cups working to align with the Twin Flames, King of Swords. Negative news or rumors causing everyone to dump responsibilities in order to avoid disasters, with the Empress and the Emperor ending battle or a losing battle, or just can't compete with destiny. Codependencies and injustice are highlighted here so that the cream rises to the top. A filtering of energies, so to speak. Who chooses love and who chooses fear? This is like the oil in the water splitting up. Lovers' confessions are destined. And then I asked, because it's very clear with the Two of Cups here and the Lovers here and the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, but then who is the Empress and the Emperor? So I asked. And when I asked, they came up as the masculine and the feminine. The Empress came up as the High Priestess, the Lovers, and the Two of Cups. No. First I just pulled cards and from the character deck to see what was the significance of this read. And the High Priestess, the Lovers, and the Two of Cups came up, and the underlying energy was the Six of Cups, which is all about the twins. I asked who the Empress was, and I was getting the Sovereign, which is that Nine of Pentacles, the World, which is the sealed Divine Feminine, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups, and the underlying energy was the King of Pentacles, which has to do with abundance, okay? And then for the Emperor, I got Death, which is the Dark Knight, the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Sovereign again, both indicating there's sovereign in both for the feminine and the masculine, because they're sovereign, they're single, and they're independent in their own right. And the underlying energy was the King of Swords for the Emperor, all right? So they're very much coming up as the Emperor and the Empress. And just a lot of stuff coming up, you know, about everyone not being able to work, or, you know, the concerns and the twins' job to keep everybody calm and happy, right? To keep our energy and vibrations up to allow this cycle to end as quickly as possible. So I'm going to pull a few cards here. We're at 54, 52. 54 is the Page of Swords. Let's have some positive Page of Swords news. And then the 52, we just hit 5,500. 52 is the Queen of Swords. And then the 55, of course, is the Ace of Swords, the Truth. A lot of swords energy there, though. I want to go back to my old cards today. All right, let's see what we have here. So I haven't played with them in a while. We're going to go back. We're going to start with the Ascension deck today and do my old cards, see what's coming up. Because I get some really good channeled messages from these decks. So everybody take a deep breath. All right, so for the best and highest good of all this concern, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And this is the Ascension deck, okay? For those of you familiar with me, I used to use these 3 decks all the time. I have the Ascension deck, the Past Life deck, and the Journey of Love. Journey of Love, okay? All right, and since we are dealing with Jesus and Adam today, we're going to ask Jesus today, okay? So, Jesus, what are the messages that you want us to know from this read and the other read? And the Lover's coming up in both reads. What is it you want us to know? What is it? All right, so Isis comes right out, which is 38, which is the Queen of Cups. Very much about the Divine Feminine and Mary Magdalene line of energy. The Illumined Master Isis was Ma-Ra and Lemuria. Isis, the High Priestess of Atlantis, Mother of Horus in Egypt, and Mary, Mother of Jesus. She was always overlit by the Universal Angel Mary, who helped Isis pass her initiations and ascend in each lifetime. This card reminds you of the power of the feminine. Face your challenges with equanimity and courage, knowing you are helped by angels. Keep your light bright and your energy pure, no matter what, and this will enable you to influence many on their ascension path. Remember, there is a greater plan, all right? So this is your job to help, you know, today I was feeling a lot of stress coming through, and it's our job to transmute that energy as it comes in, because we're feeling the collective consciousness. I face my challenges with calm and strength. All right, there's 2 other cards that are coming out, but we also have the underlying energy of fire, which is all that crazy energy you're feeling, right? The drama that comes in. The affirmation for fire is, I invoke fire to light my way to the new golden age. So in order to break through the obstacles, there has to be fire, right? It's like that tower event to break through the things that people won't allow to change. And so we have to transmute those energies. The fire transmutes the old and takes the new to a higher frequency. Archangel Gabriel supervises Thor, the elemental master of fire, and his salamanders. Your guidance is to ask them to transform the energy of conflict and then spread peace, warmth, and nourishment to the people everywhere, which is exactly just what I'm saying. The 13 is the Tower card. It's transformation. You can ask fire to help you eat the right food so that you have the perfect fuel for your ascension journey. It will also ignite your aura and keep your chakras 5th dimensional and glowing so that you attract many others to you and lead with inspiration. The affirmation is, I invoke fire to light my way to the new golden age. All right, so Isis came up, but also Hilarion and the Gold Ray of Christ came up. Okay, so I'll show you the picture. All right, so Hilarion's 46, which is the 6 of Cups, the children in the garden. And Hilarion is from Saturn and steps down his energy through the Temple of Truth through Crete. He's negotiator for Earth on the Council of Saturn and helps us remain connected to our spiritual journey. As master of the orange 5th ray of technology, science, truth, and knowledge, he invites you to open your mind so that he can drop seeds for new ideas into your consciousness. He assists those who are ready to become higher channels and clairvoyance. Your guidance is to sit quietly and ask him to help you be all that you can be, Hilarion. Okay, the affirmation is, I open myself to the wisdom and guidance of Hilarion. So we have Isis and Hilarion, and then we also have the Gold Ray of Christ, which we invoke that energy, right? Number 5 is the Hierophant, which can definitely represent God. Okay, blessings pour onto you when you choose this card of unconditional love. The gold ray of Christ is held within the cosmic heart at the 9th dimension. The angels ask you to invoke the love, wisdom, healing, and protection of this beautiful energy. Ask it to flow through you and surround you with its golden light. When you carry this high frequency force in your aura, you can relax and know you're totally safe. Remember to send the gold ray of Christ to others. And the affirmation is, I am the gold ray of Christ. Okay? So all you have to do is just breathe in that golden white energy. And I'd like to add a little pink for compassion in that rose pink. Pull it in through your crown. Breathe it in and wrap it around your heart. And then, hold your breath so that when you wrap this light around your heart, then you can slowly let it expand and diffuse out from your heart into your arms and legs and your fingertips and toes and your head and your crown, out into your aura and then out to the world. And so take some deep breaths, 3 or 4 breaths in a row. And do this each time, pulling in this energy. And then you can send some of that light to your twin as well through your cord. And perhaps sometimes I'll send that love to my twin, to his heart. And sometimes I'll actually push that energy up through his crown and around him too, to clear out the areas where there may be blocks around his crown or around anywhere around his body. Okay, so you can do that, whatever you feel called to do. Okay. So you have Hilarion, Isis, and the gold ray of Christ. So, and then fire. And fire was 13. The Queen of Cups, the 6 of Cups, and the Hierophant. And then the 13 of the Dark Knight and the Transformation. This is the past life deck. So let's see what comes up for this deck. I haven't used it in a little while. This is a Brian Weiss deck, by the way. I think there's another author on it too, but all right, let's see what comes up for us from the past life deck. What is our message? All right, there we go. Wars and battles with mothers, but they're reversed. So this may be after the fact. Hold on, there's some other cards that are coming out. There's just some cards that want to get counted, and I have 2 other cards to show you. And then count. The bottom of the deck is unrequited love, and that's definitely that mother energy. Someone's a little bit bitter. And the name Mary literally means bitter. So, and Mother Mary came up with Isis. So some of that energy is coming up around unrequited love, the women who have been hurt, and so have become cold and bitter. And now upright, if you had these upright, this would come up like, this card cracks me up because it looks like a joke. Like, how many soldiers does it take to put up a tripod? But this is like the sons who would go to war to fight for their mother, right? Because their mother loved them, right? But this is reversed. All right? This is where soldiers are no longer fighting for the mother. That this is over. It's about us standing up for ourselves. And this also can have to do with the mother's bitterness of always having to sacrifice for everyone else and not living her authentic life, okay? Because this would be upright. All right, so we're not going to war for our mothers, and our mothers, we're not allowing our children to go fight to kill themselves for us. Instead, we're going to not go to war and teach ourselves to mother ourselves. This is what I'm getting from this message. Let me see what else is coming up, though. Just get the message. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 again here, which is that manifesting of your dreams. And the bottom of the 8 cards is authority figures, which is, there's sparkles around this gavel. So it's a magical gavel, which has to do with justice being served, all right? So it's not about us to get justice. This is why the war and the mother are coming up. It's not about us to get justice. It's about us allowing the natural energies to automatically balance themselves, because that's what nature and God, the love energy, does. Allow the magical gavel to do its work, okay? The other 2 cards that came up are ships and vows. And this ship card is always such a pure ship. And it's coming in. It's very clean and new. It's like a rebirth, right? This ship is a rebirth. It's very pure. Like no ships look that clean, right? This is a brand new ship. And these are some women very serious about the vows that they want to take when this ship comes in. Right? Really thinking very seriously about what it is that is authentic to them, what makes them happy. And being very serious about the vows that they take. Right? Because we've broken all of our cords and vows from past lifetimes and from this lifetime. And so if we're ever going to take vows again, to be very sure about what's authentic to you and what's going to make you happy. And really understanding what it means here to make, and it's making me want to cry, what it means to make a vow, what it really, really means, because it's ultimately about the vow to yourself and your higher self. There's some very high energies coming in here. Because the vows that you take are really about the vows to yourself, to your higher self. And so they have to be very pure, because you have to allow the wind to stay in your sails. You know, you don't want to allow anything to deplete that wind in your sails. You know, like the wind beneath your wings. I danced to that with my dad. The wind beneath your wings. So you always want to be with someone who's the wind beneath your wings, not the one who takes your wings away. They can take your breath away, but not your wings. So make sure that the vows you take are to yourself. And with twins, when you vow to yourself, to your higher self, you're making vows with your twin, which is the beautiful thing about this connection that's such a high honor to have. Okay, so we're leaving go the old templates behind, right? Right? That you're not married to your mother. You're married to yourself, your higher self. Your first commitment is to self, not to anyone else. And of course, we want to be loving to everyone else, but you can't be your best unless you're committed first to yourself. And only in the case of twins is that commitment to yourself, your commitment to your twin. That's how beautiful it is. Okay, now we have the journey of love. And we have the 8, number 8 for dreams. Manifesting your dreams come true. By committing to self. And that was with the Isis 38, which is the Queen of Cups. The 46, the children in the garden. So it's that mother and children energy. And then the 5 is the commitment to yourself. So it's also the mother and the twins. And remember that third energy comes in and out. It's not a constant. The 2 is constant, but the 3rd comes in and out. It's like a vibrating, or that's the energy that causes the dance in us to go back and forth. But the 2 is a constant. The 3 is a necessity in coming in to trigger us to expand, but then it leaves again for the next trigger to come in. So it's like the mother is a necessity, right? Because she brings birth into the world. But then she has to let her children go so that they can connect and expand even more. Okay. So the mother. It also has to do with the Queen of Cups being the feminine energy. The 46 of the twins, their inner children coming together, their higher selves. And then the 5 of the commitment of the Hierophant, the divine masculine. And then the fire between them and the underlying energy of transformation. And the death card is the dark night crossing the 4D bridge to the 5D, to the heaven on earth, to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, manifesting that dream family. All right, so this is for Journey of Love. Let's see what comes up for us here. Ooh, the whole deck was going to fall over there. Well, let's try again. All right. Okay, Jesus, this is on you today. Patience. All right. Riding the cosmic wave, number 60, is that 6 of Swords, which is about finding peace. This is very important because that 6 of Swords has been reversed all week. Every read I was doing was reversed, but it's upright today. So this peace is so important for the masculine to find, riding the cosmic wave. Right? When you're feeling all these energies, learning how to transmute them, not to push them away, but to actually go into them, to ride the wave. Right? Not denying your light or your shadow, but allowing them both to mingle together. That's part of the dance. And I will read that to you. Drop into your heart also wants to be seen. It's number 68, which is the Page of Pentacles, which is that student to learn, to grow and expand. Right? To always be the student, the perpetual student, drop into your heart. Right? So here we have the magenta and the green, the swirling of the heart and the high heart, with always a need to learn and expand, to be innocent. Hold on, there's some more cards that want to be counted, so hold on one sec. All right, just a few, not too many. The bottom of the deck is the spaces between the words. The 24 again comes up, which is the day's number. Today is the Queen of Wands. That's that third energy, the space between the words, the quanta, the quantum leap, what causes the connection. And you notice this is very 2D. It's like a painting. There's no 3D quality about it at all. It's saying that the space between the words is very simple. It doesn't take even a 3D mind to understand. It's like the writing on the wall. There needs to be space between energies for that bacteria to get in and grow something new. To take this rather dull and flat picture and make it something more dynamic and adventurous. God Speaks, by the way, is right beneath that, number 33. God Speaks. All right, so the ones I had to count were, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the Emperor's coming up again. And just to show you those 4 cards that came up, the Light Field, 63. Becoming, which I love the colors in this, 34, which is the 8 of Wands. 63 is the 9 of Swords. Dance of the Planets, 56, the 2 of Swords. This is the Linda and Paul McCartney, Dancing on the Record. That was a channeling I had gotten last year, which was beautiful. And here's the Woman of Light, and these are very similar energies. All right, the 49 is the Get Your Wish card. It's about the togetherness, but it's also about the authenticness to self, right? To your connection with Source. And then you can connect to Source and then walk hand in hand within the vortex. You see that? Which I love. That's like such a Paul and Linda walking on the record album. Okay, so those are the 4. That's the Emperor. And remember that Emperor, because 8 came up, which is higher levels of manifestation. The 4 is the lower levels of manifestation of survival. 8 is the manifestation of dreams. Manifestation. All right, so I'm going to read you these 2. Drop in your heart and Riding the Cosmic Wave. I'm getting like the energy of the 2 directions at the same time again, like going up and down between the 3rd dimension and the 5th dimension, and yet going side to side between the masculine and the feminine. It's like all directions at once, which has been the theme for the past couple days. So somebody might have a lisp. but a theme over the past few days, like all directions at once, the implosion, explosion, creating the vacuum, which is that force of creation. It's like this is the circles, the natural circles of energy. It's like also seeing it from different directions. Like this is seeing the chakras from one direction, and then this maybe riding the wave is maybe seeing the chakras in another perspective. You know, maybe if you're actually inside of that pink or red. And also this is coming up more heart-based as heart and high heart, and this is coming up more third eye and high heart compassion. More intuitive. This is more heart-based, more physical. This is more intuitive. All right, let's see what they say. 60 and 68. All right. So riding the cosmic wave. You can be carried further by the cosmic wave than by your own efforts. Where you are going cannot be attained by effort. The effort, the discipline, prepares us for the leap. But after the leap, we are no longer sustained by our efforts, but by forces greater than us, the forces of love itself. You're stepping towards the edge, preparing to leap, and let the cosmic wave of love carry you forward. You shall be moved through grace into the new world awaiting you. This oracle brings a message. There is a time to work hard and a time to allow the fruits of one's labor to manifest, when one may be carried by forces set in motion by the energetic or the energy of life itself. You can let go and move further, reach farther with less effort. Now is the time to give yourself permission to stop paddling and instead just ride the wave. Give in, let go, and be moved. And the poem simply reads, your spirit flies like the wind, warms like the sun, and watches like the sky. How wise the earth, waiting for the moment to be touched. All right, and now 68. Okay, 68, drop into your heart. There is a place of light within that no darkness can touch. It cannot be shamed, it can never be made impure. It is never lost or darkened or unavailable to us, though we may forget sometimes that sitting in a darkened room and not realizing that we can stand up and walk into the light so close to us, just on the other side of the doorway to the heart. Whatever may arise, great joy, great sorrow, drop into your heart and offer to the divine, gently bowing your forehead into your hands in prayer. Connect mind to heart. Let yourself have some peace. It wants you, you know. This oracle brings you an offering. The divine would like you to offer whatever is bringing your heart trouble, or of course joy. The divine would like to receive this from you as a gift, that it may return to you some special blessing. Place your hands at your heart, and in genuine reflection, perhaps you may choose to offer your heart burden, or light, now. Either will be joyfully received by the divine, and you shall be graced with a gift in return. And the poem reads, longing. The dance to move beyond the feeling that draws me forward to a place born within that calls my soul to feel complete. Okay, everyone, I'm going to show you the cards now. There's some really beautiful messages there. The Eight of Pentacles was the underlying energy. The recent past was the Page of Orbs or Swords, which was reversed. The foundation here is the Two of Cups upright. The center of the reed is the Ten of Wands or Flames reversed. The Tower was also reversed as the challenge. The other underlying energies, you see the Ace of Cups upright there. The Five of Wands was reversed. And then we scroll across the 4D bridge to the Abundance card, which is the Empress, who was upright. So is the Emperor. The masculine sees himself as the Lover's upright. And around that is the Master of Orbs, which is also upright. He was in his truth today. And the blocks he needs to work on is reason and logic and having control of the Emperor. And look at the colors of the numerology cards, right? So we have orange is the sacral, and then the greens and teals, so the heart working its way up to the throat. And then we have the Destiny card, which was upright. We have the Devil, which was upright. We have the Justice card, which was reversed. And then the Ten of Cups, which was upright. And we end up with the King of Pentacles there on top. And the underlying energies, you see there, orange and pinks, which has to do with compassion and high heart energy, as well as the sacral energy, and bringing them together. All right, you guys. I'm out of breath. These energies today are stressful. So just go into them, maybe meditate, do something that's relaxing, perhaps a hot bath, a hot salt bath, but any which way. Take a deep breath and maybe hold your breath. The guys that do the really cold water, where they make you jump in the cold water, they do like hyperventilating. They breathe in and out really deeply, quickly, and then it tends to calm your heart, just like holding your breath would. So that might be a technique you might want to use, but always do that sitting down. And don't do it if you're not sure about it, okay? So drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. And as always, rise and be love, you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.